Welcome in, everyone. So we have, today is the weekly, I call it the astrological slash weekly astro reading slash tarot reading. So I started kind of giving you just a little high level tidbits of what's going on for the week astrologically. And then we kind of tap in to the collective energy to see, gets any information or guidance from, I call upon my higher dimensional guides and kind of source energy to provide information to help all of you watching in the best way possible. So help you stay on your higher path, help give you guidance information to help navigate with ease and grace any situation you're going through at the moment. So we'll kind of see what's going on. So this is for the last week of October / beginning of November, right? Because we're going to go through the end of the month of October, and then we're going to hit the 1st and the 2nd of November. So this is Monday the 28th through Sunday the 2nd. So last week of October, so I'll have to put away the Halloween cards, which I'm kind of bummed about. Halloween is, I think, between October and July. Those are my two favorite months of the year. I love October. I definitely am not ready to say goodbye yet, so I'm going to be really enjoying as much as I can, especially Halloween. And Jupiter's here joining. I don't know if you can see him in the camera, but I always say when Jupiter joins, he's bringing good luck to all of you. So since it is Jupiter, the planet of good luck. All right, Jupiter. So I got the Jack-o'-lantern tarot and the Halloween oracle that I'm going to hit. But before we dive into that, I'm going to hit some of the things going on planet astrologically this week. I kind of have a lot of notes here. I'm going to try and sum them up so I'm just not, rambling on and on. But there's a lot of good stuff this week. So starting off Monday the 28th, Mars trines Neptune, and which Neptune's in retrograde. So this is kind of filling the week, that day, with compassion and kind of deepening dreams and kind of fantasy state. There's that Neptune Piscean energy. It's also enhancing creativity, so you might feel inspired or motivated to kind of create. And it's going to be backed by that kind of dreamy imagination energy. So I think that'll be a great energy. Then same day we have Venus in Sagittarius, which is squaring Saturn in Pisces. So this is going to be a little kind of on the other side. This is going to ask you to really face some realities within relationships. This is about really identifying where your boundaries aren't being respected or met. This is also too boundaries with, so it's basically around relationships and finances. So something to think about. And also it's probably a lot of you are gonna kind of rethink or kind of reassess, is the juice worth the squeeze when it comes to certain investments or relationships? Is this relationship worth the effort and time I'm putting into it? Am I getting what I need from this relationship? Are my needs and desires really being met? Are we compatible? So that's going to kind of, you might notice that. We also have Mars and Neptune, which is an uplifting energy. So like I said earlier, we have that Mars trine. So it's going to add some upliftment to that. So it's going to kind of take the edge off that Venus squaring Saturn, because that's going to be a little, not as nice. I shouldn't say nice, but, we're doing what's good for us, right? And that's always good. That Venus and Saturn is also asking us to get real about what, like I said, what's not working, and being able to kind of have the courage or strength to maybe talk about that and communicate that. It might be the best time to do that because throughout November, I can't remember what day, but Mercury goes retrograde. I'll kind of bring that up probably in the next week's reading and give you the exact date. But that's a time I would say when Mercury's retrograde, it's not the best time to have deep conversations or serious conversations because there's a lot of there's a lot of chance that communication gets kind of misconstrued, misunderstood. People's messaging isn't that great during that time. They don't know how to communicate in a way that's maybe also, it can be kind of backed by some triggered emotions. So this would maybe be a good time to also have those conversations. On the 30th, we have Mercury opposing Uranus. So there's some unpredictable energy there. So I probably wouldn't have any big conversations on the 30th. Because that day, that there's that unpredictable energy with Mercury, which is about communication and thought processes. So there could be some surprises, sudden insights that may challenge the norm for you and kind of try and push you into, something, again, that works better for you or out of the norm. Because to me, then that's saying the norm really isn't aligned with where your energy is moving or in what's for your highest good. The 31st, so on Halloween, Mercury trines Neptune. This is actually probably a good day to have, it's favorable time to engage in meaningful conversations that day. So Halloween would actually be a good time to have conversations and relationships. Maybe whatever insight you gain on the 28th, on Monday, you then can kind of think it through and have those conversations about boundaries or just like, hey, this isn't working on Halloween, which the 1st, which is Saturday, we have the new moon in Scorpio, which this is a very big day. New moon energy, that scorpionic energy. This is really going to call us to shed, the old layers that aren't working for us, face our shadows, take emotional risks, and really, again, make changes, big changes too. So the whole week is going to kind of be bringing up a lot of the things that aren't working. And then on Saturday, it's, again, that new moon is going to help us to actually, what do we need to do to shed these layers that aren't working? And then Sunday, Jupiter sextiles Chiron. So Chiron, just for your awareness, Chiron rules our deepest unhealed wounds. Some people don't like Chiron that much because it is a very karmic energy, but it calls for healing and soul growth. It can be a little challenging, especially if you've been in denial about any sort of emotional wounds or deep, trauma, or again, heartaches from the past that you haven't actually worked through or integrated, or that you keep kind of pushing away. Mercury trines Mars that day and sextiles Pluto, which Pluto is still in Capricorn. So let's see. It's going to help bring mental clarity and will also bring up some motivation and determination to tackle anything big or complex going on in your life. So just something to call out there. So there's the week. Again, I tried to do that as quick as possible, but also give you kind of the important things for the week. And we have Jupiter kind of taking over our space. But we love the good luck of Jupiter, so we're going to let him lay in our reading here. So, and I had the Hanged Man jump out, so I'm going to hold that there for when we dig into the tarot cards. So that's going to be kind of the overarching energy of the week, which kind of makes sense, right? Kind of gaining some new perspective seems to be the theme of the week. Really allowing ourselves to kind of look at things in a new way and get some more understanding. So let's see what the Oracle, I'm going to see what are kind of the main themes of the week here. I like this. We got joy, rejoicing in the present, scrying, intuition, and the cauldron, synergy and healing. Right on. There's that Chiron, healing. So for the week of Halloween, you know, with this joy card, I do feel like since there is a lot going on throughout the week, every day, I do kind of feel like you kind of have to be really present, be in the now every day, and just focus on what's coming up, like really feeling into any feelings that are coming up or yearnings, or again, those things where we're like, hey, this really doesn't work for me, or hey, this person really hasn't, you know, continuously respected my boundaries in these areas. And instead of maybe trying to think too broad, again, just really feel into what's coming up in the moment. But I do feel with Halloween, I feel like it's a time to really also find things that bring us joy this week, focus on those things on the holiday, and trying to find fun things to do. And then in the middle here with that intuition, like I said, part of this, you know, this process is really using your intuition as your navigation tool. Your intuition is going to navigate you to the places within that you need to look at, that you need to think about and address. Intuition also is our compass for the external world, for us to identify, right? Is this relationship, you know, instead of thinking and being too logical, or also being motivated or ruled by our fear, what is our intuition telling us about this person or this relationship or this situation? Because your intuition isn't going to lie. And then in line with this cauldron, you know, really what it is, it's about finding that integration, that synergy and harmony within our emotional body, mental body, energetic body, physical body. Synergy. So when we're harmonized and integrated on all those areas, that's really when our intuition is at our highest. It's spot on. We can trust our intuition. And part of that synergy is healing, right? Is that healing aspect. So if we aren't healed, if we're carrying stuff from the past, heartaches, hurts, traumas, things like that, that is going to that's what's keeping us stuck in this hangman energy here. I definitely have come across people who, you know, they like to shut the door. They just think, you know, I'm just going to shut the door on the past. I don't want to look at it. I'm going to pretend it's not there. And that works for me. But what they don't realize, and for you out there that are kind of in that scenario, that stuff is not gone. That stuff is actually, when you do that, that stuff is actually very unconscious, very deep, and that stuff is actually ruling your life. So if you, in any scenario in your life, are like, why do I keep, you know, attracting the same sort of relationship, same pattern, and it creates suffering, and it's not what you want, usually you have to open that door that you have locked, because all of that stuff is energetically still alive and breathing, and that energy is the one that's actually the one keeping you stuck in that pattern. And the only way to get out of that is to actually look into those places, at those parts of yourself, at that emotions, at that hurt, and you need to work through that. Because energy doesn't just disappear. You have to actually work with it and alchemize it for it to actually then kind of release out. How do you do that? You're probably asking. So that's all going to depend on you as an individual. There's a lot of, you know, methods, you know, therapies, whatever, energetic work that you can ask your intuition to guide you to that's going to be helpful for you. Okay. But something that I've worked that to me, like talk therapy, again, this is my belief, you know, this is my perspective. So it's okay if others disagree, but I think talk therapy is basically worthless. It really just skims the surface. All of that stuff that's really running the show in your life is like, it's like layers of an onion, right? And it's like layer after layer after layer deep, and you have to go and kind of peel back every layer. And talk therapy really just maybe, you know, goes through the first, second, or third layer. And a lot of times, if you're in a scenario where you've blocked out your past, you have to really open up a lot of doors energetically to get down there. And a talk therapist really doesn't have the skill set to do that. I like to recommend, I really love, it's called Internal Family Systems, or IFS. Check it out. Research it. It is actually working with your deepest parts, all of your parts, to identify what all of your parts need, why they're stuck, what pain, trauma that they're holding, and work with them to give them exactly what they need. And all your parts are almost like different children, right? It's like they all need something different to basically be able to heal, integrate, and let go of the pain that they've been holding on to. So, all right. Lots around that. So let's pull some more tarot here for the week. What's going on unconsciously here? We have the Ace of Wands. So this is like, again, that inspired creativity hitting. That's going to, like I said, that October 28th is going to be a big day. That kind of represents that. We have the Six of Pentacles. There's that imbalance. There's that relationship, or the what's not working, which usually means there's an imbalance. There's some sort of lack of, is my needs and desires being met in this relationship? If I'm telling something, this is what I need from them, are they able to give it positively, respectfully? Or is it like I'm constantly trying, I'm being crumbed, I'm constantly trying to get more? Another ace, Ace of Cups, and then we have the Emperor, the Eight of Wands, the Chariot, whoo, look at that, Magician, and I have to pull up the Queen of Cups. So at the end of this week, I feel like kind of this is what's unfolding. You know, it's like you're manifesting and also aligning from an emotional standpoint. The Queen of Cups is like a master. She has the highest emotional intelligence along with the King of Cups. But I almost feel like the Queen of Cups is like probably the most mature emotionally and has the most emotional intelligence. And that's what you're looking for here with this healing and synergy. And finding someone as well who's in the same kind of vibrational level from an emotional standpoint. And usually what happens when we have an imbalance in relationship, it's because one or both of you are mirroring this deep emotional, for one, immaturity, emotional imbalance, a lack of emotional intelligence. And you may think, well, I have the emotional intelligence. And from a conscious level, you might have it, if I can talk. I'm not disagreeing with that. I went through the same, where it's like, I feel like I'm approaching it from, you know, from a standpoint, like I'm able to give, my heart's open, I'm vulnerable, I'm trying to communicate, I'm trying to talk through in a kind of a compassionate, understanding way of like, here's how I'm feeling when it comes up, or this is what I need. But then I'm always getting resistance from the other person. And what I realized, and it's sometimes hard to take accountability there, is when I started doing deep parts work, I realized that I have a lot of stuck parts that are emotionally still stuck at that 10-year-old level or that whatever 5-year-old. And even though I don't consciously feel that, they're still there, active and alive and energetically vibrating and want to be heard and seen. And it's almost like the only way that I can almost like find awareness and connect back with them is by attracting someone who is mirroring that same vibrational energy to me. So it's complex, but once you get it, it's like blows your mind. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like gaining that, leveling up from like being that leader. It does kind of feel like a relational kind of dysfunction here that we're talking about, and it's about finding relational synergy within ourselves that then kind of shoots us forward to find and connect with finding that harmony within ourselves emotionally. So these two cards I love. Like this is really fast moving. This is like things changing quickly, and there's that Scorpio energy. Once we really get it and become aware and actively start that transformation or surrender to the change, things are going to move forward quickly. This could be about traveling or moving, or this could be a new love coming in. And this is something you really manifested by doing the work. But you have a new beginning really being presented to you here. So let's keep going. We have the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Three of Cups. For some of you, I'm getting this Hierophant is almost more like a guide or a teacher, or like someone you're actively getting wisdom from. Like I said, for example, an IFS practitioner or an energy worker. You're working with someone here who has knowledge to help you navigate, again, your work, which also they're supporting you through making some decisions in your life to make change in regarding to helping you from a relational dynamics or connections. And that's really doing that actively is going to push you forward. And it's really helping you identify like where you're stuck from the programs that you're, again, that are active unconsciously, that you've gained from your past, your families, just how you were raised, cultures, religions, things like that are going to also keep you stuck. Knight of Cups. So for some of you, this is actually referring to some commitment, actively making a decision that does impact your future, to me, with the Ten of Cups. This is about, families and money. And so I do feel like it does impact you financially. Whatever decision you make, I do feel like it's going to help you bring in more abundance here. But it does impact, to me, again, the future you want to have in regards to seeing your life, seeing what your family looks like and things like that. And you're finally getting some clarity here by the end of the week around where you're headed. Again, this too, the Queen of Swords is like a master at boundaries, right? And communicating those in regards to relationships she has. Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups. Yeah, you've been kind of, again, there's some decision you have to make about how you want to live your life and what your life looks like. This could be specifically around uncertainty around a certain love relationship. For some of you, there could be two options here that you're kind of weighing. But you are actively making a decision about love and relationships and how that looks for you in your life. But I like this healing. There's healing here. There's clarity. There's celebrations as well on the other side of this. So I see this, really unfolding out the rest of the year for you. I don't feel like this is just this week. I feel like this is playing out this week, but it's going to continue to, you're going to continue to get more healing and move in a better direction where you want to be in your life through November and December here. What's this Ten of Pentacles about? Yeah, okay. So actually the devil clarified it with the devil. So this is more about ancestral karma that has been passed generationally. And this is actively like changing what, and that's, again, we talked about stuck patterns. So this could be generational patterns around relationships. What do those types of relationship dynamics look like that are more, again, karmic, which means they're more challenging or difficult, or they're just, again, they don't fit well. There's conflict, or just there's an imbalance in some area. Like, again, maybe, for example, maybe on your, the women in your family tend to be the overgivers. They do all the work. And then the men in the relationships, just breadcrumb them. They tend to just, not chip in and do what's needed in the house with the kids emotionally for the women. Just, again, that's an example. So you're actively making a decision to say, I'm not gonna settle and stay stuck in the same relational pattern as my family, as my ancestors. And you're healing this moving forward. And you're going to actively then, if you decide, hey, if you're in a relationship, like, hey, this is the same pattern as all the other women in my family, you're like, I don't want that anymore. And you're going to consciously decide to do the healing work needed to then bring in something that's, again, more aligned with something that really is like your wish, your ultimate wish, which I love. So it seems like I see a lot of, there's cups, there's pentacles here. This is really, with the Magician here, about really what kind of life, what do I see in my physical life? Like where do I want to be? How do I want to live? What kind of relationships do I want to have? It's really getting clear on that picture now, because I feel, again, this like spark of motivation and inspiration to want to live the life that you've kind of always secretly dreamed and desired for. So I love it. I love the energy there, everybody. So I will leave you on that high note here for the week. So enjoy the last week in October. Again, we're now in Scorpio season, so happy birthday, Scorpios. And I will see you in the next reading.